Hello, welcome to the Last Supper of Outcasts. And I'm your host, Charles Ponzi. Today is August 17th, 2026. Not that it matters. Today's quote of the day is by none other than the priest of all priests, Alan Greenspan. And the quote goes as such: If the mathematics appear incomprehensible, that is generally an indication that the mathematics are working. So there you have it. There's our quote from the unintelligible Alan Greenspan. A man where no one could understand a fucking word he said, but everyone nodded in agreement anyway. Congratulations. But I digress. Welcome to part 2 of my expose on some of my experiences working in the bowels of the banking cartel. And the word bowels is putting it politely. In the last episode, I described some of my experiences working as a residential mortgage loan officer. So let's continue where I left off. At the tail end of my experience working as a residential mortgage loan officer, which was around 2006, just before the great financial crisis came into full bloom, I could already see in 2006 that sales and regulations were becoming more onerous. Leads were drying up, sales were harder to make, customers were harder to find, and I started naturally to get a little nervous. Who wouldn't? So my anxiety led me to working with a fairly prominent subprime lender at that time. This lender is no longer in business. Huge surprise, I know. And to reiterate, I'm describing my experiences in banking to demonstrate specifically what a bunch of maggots most of these people really are. But again, I digress. On with the story. Onward we march. So this so-called lender, or as I like to refer to them, the mafia, sent all of us newly hired loan officers for, it was like a 2 or 3 day training. I can't really remember, but it was 2 or 3 days. And it was a pretty fancy hotel. Money well spent. Obviously, banks are all about financial responsibility, as most of us know. And I remember the trainer espousing interest rate formulas as if he was Richard Feynman or Albert Einstein. And he was espousing these things as if the class had any fucking clue as to what he was talking about. I don't even think he knew what he was talking about. I would say most of the class probably just got hired straight out of flipping burgers and had not even a clue who the current Federal Reserve chairman was. And I think it was Ben Bernanke at the time. Let alone what an interest rate was, or how to add, or what an economy even is. This really is how dumb most of the people involved with banking and managing your money actually are. This should frighten the shit out of you, and I'm not kidding. All you need to succeed in the world of finance is to know how to bullshit your way through to a sale. That's all that matters in the world of banking and finance. That's it. Period. End of story. Make the sale at any cost. But again, I digress. And I'm trying to keep my cool here. I know I get a little bit ornery, and I'm really trying, because This stuff, it's good for me to get it off of my chest and get it out into the universe, even if nobody sees this stuff. At least the universe will know how I feel because it knows I'm not wrong. But again, I digress. The trainer I remember writing formulas on the chalkboard as if we were all math majors. And I'm saying all this because the trainer knew full well that most of the class was filled with idiots and morons. And he was just dazzling them with how smart he was pretending to be. And this, again, my friends, is the absolute essence of Wall Street and finance. Baffle them with complicated nonsense in order that you can easily rob them. In this case, the class was baffled into believing that what we were selling or were being taught how to sell was somehow moving civilization forward. We were pushing the envelope forward. Progress, in the name of progress. Sort of like how a cancer progresses. And we all know, or at least we all should know, how all this turned out. Not long after this time with this lender, subprime lenders started collapsing like dominoes. As I said, this is 2006. The crisis had already begun. So I guess the math didn't work. During these classes, I also remember the blatant contrast of being taught abstract interest rate theory that even the trainer himself didn't understand and that didn't even exist. And he was mixing this with having us play games and perform acts with each other that even kindergartners would find insulting. Submoronic at its finest. And I often think, was this some sort of a humiliation ritual? Was this to demonstrate what a bunch of idiots we really were? Probably all of the above. But this, again, is the essence of the financial system's game. Who can pretend and go along to get along the best? That's what they're looking for. Who will go along and get along and not raise a ruckus and not ask questions? That's who they're looking for. So they can sell their garbage and steal your money. Period. That's the name of the game. This way the powers that be know who they can push around and who is most likely to succeed in selling the garbage they're selling, as I just stated. So here's the essence of Wall Street and the financial markets. Make it sound like you're the expert by spouting complicated nonsense that even you don't understand. This is the key to success in stealing anybody's wallet or their financial future while enriching yourself. Always remember Capital One. What's in your wallet? So we can steal it. They left that part out. Don't worry, I have more stories to tell about my experiences in the fine, upstanding industry of banking and financing. I'll be back with part 3 of Tales from the Banking Crypt very soon. And I'd like to thank you for watching. I would love if you left a comment if you've had any experiences along these lines. And again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great night. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'll talk to you all real soon. Thanks again.